Hello, which means Salam Alaikum, Namaste, peace be upon you. I am Mahdi, and thank you so much for everyone who has been following me and the videos that I've been doing thus far. If you've been paying attention, we are now getting to the next episode that talks about the Creator of light and the darkness. Regardless of what you believe in, we all believe in some sort of a source. The three major religions talk about God and oneness, and the source being one God, the one creator of all things. Some believe in nothing, which also means you believe in something, because the opposite of nothing is something. So, we all believe in something. We all believe in a source. Today I want to talk to you about the Creator. What is this source? What is God? What does religion talk about? We, as a people, need to reflect on this and understand that we easily allow our minds to drift astray. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, or you believe in the Torah, or you believe in this quote-unquote nothing, we all know within us that we come from something. Some of us believe that we come from the source of God. And although a lot of experiences in life can be painful, we've come to know that pain is what gives all things value. Without pain, nothing would have value. Without fear, we wouldn't be able to decipher what is real and what is not. So we have to identify that to believe in God or the source, we cannot deny or argue that God is separate than us, or the creatures, or the world, or anything that is manifest. So, in religion, it is spoken that there is this manifest creation of Satan, or evil, or devil, or ego, or darkness. There are the manifest creation of demons, angels, the creation of humanity, the creation of nature, the creation of animals. But we tend to allow our minds to elude us, create an illusion that all of these things are separate to God, which is not true. When we say that we believe in God, whether you like it or not, when fear strikes your heart, usually the first thing you say is, "Oh God, oh Jesus." So somewhere in there is some sort of unconscious or subconscious spiritual being that is aware of the infinite truth. What that means is that we know that we are somehow connected to this source, and we need to recognize that this source is the one source that many call God. But to give something other than God a title of this, for example, a quote-unquote human that is causing corruption. We can use many examples in our own history. Or a quote-unquote force of nature that is causing corruption and tragedy and war and destruction and disconnect between humanity, between ourselves, between one another. Things like this, for the first time in human known history, a global pandemic, COVID. When we label anything as man created or nature created or some other entity, we are discounting, and we are simultaneously, we're basically at the same time saying we don't believe in God. Because God is one God, one creator, one source, which means that everything is a result of God. Which means that this manifest ego, or manifest Satan, or manifest darkness is also God. It's hard for you to comprehend that, I know. It's hard for you to understand. But you need to get out of the physical, outside world and look at it from a deep level from within. God and all things that exist must be God, for there to only be one God. So why would God create this manifest experience, human experience, of all of these things, these experiences? Remember what I said in the last episode. We are all a collection of this creation of God in our cocoon, in our current experience of manifest life, of this infinite spiritual being of light, love, and consciousness. So, why would God create the sun and the moon? Why would God create darkness and light? Why would God create hatred and love? Well, as we know, without one there can be no other. Without being awake, you cannot be asleep. Without being dead, you cannot be alive. Everything must have its opposite. Only in the dark can you see the light. Only in this manifest, collective, conscious human experience can we come to identify God as all things, as the source of light, love, and consciousness. So to understand the Creator, we have to go very deep and almost remove ourselves from the equation and become the observer. Then we can see the magnificence and the wisdom and the power of the source, the love of the source. You can't deny the will of a human being is free. You have a choice. You have thousands, millions, and billions of choices, infinite choices, infinite energy, infinite light. So we need to experience these things. This manifest of death, this manifest of pain and sorrow and loss and destruction and human disconnect, so that we can make a conscious choice to stop relying on the outside world. If we look at God as the source of all things and that all things submit to God, then we can see the truth. The things that we are propelled from on the outside world that only fill us with nothing, which in turn means keep us empty, keep us in this so-called hell state, which exists inside of our hearts, our minds, our spirits, and our souls. There is no material on this world that can sustain you and bring you to paradise. There's nothing on the outside that can keep you there infinitely. The only thing that can bring you to paradise is yourself, is peace and serenity, is love of the self, which in turn means love of the source, love of the one source of God, the infinite being of light, love, and consciousness. So if we imagine God as an infinite being of light, love, and consciousness, and we are a collection of all of this, then anything that opposes this is empty, is untruth. And that is why when we give in to this external source and look for the outside to fulfill the inside, then we remain empty in this quote-unquote hell experience. So when we look at COVID for the first time in our known history to push humanity into a place of separation from one another, and the fear of losing your health, your wealth, your security, and everything else with it, it in turn is a blessing and a perfect storm that allows us to work on the self and reflect and go inside and see what is real, what matters, what is permanent. Permanence is truth, love is truth. That is what is fulfilling. The love of self, the love of nature, the love of the world, the love of all things and the people that you love. Absorb everything that we do. We are all energy. Everything that we do, everything that we receive, we give, it's all part of this sponge system. If we look at the physical world, we can see that everything is a creation from the blueprint of humanity, which is my next episode. And we can look at a computer or a vehicle or many other material creations that come from this infinite source, this flow that keeps flowing for humanity. And we keep recreating everything from our blueprint onto everything that we see on the external world. A computer that has a hard drive. Picture the hard drive as the heart, this sponge that holds everything. Sure, you can hide as many files as you want, but it's still there. The only way to get rid of them is by throwing them in the trash can, some of these files. Some of these files have viruses, some of them cause pain, some of them create slowness. We can look at ourselves as the same. The only way to empty this trash is by repenting, by forgiving the self through action, by forgiving others through action, by asking for forgiveness, because again, we are all energy. So anything that we've done, we've absorbed. Anything that we do to ourselves, we've absorbed. And we know what we do when we hurt ourselves or hurt others. So again, if the source is an infinite being of unconditional love, then anything that opposes this is empty, is lies, and is untrue. And if you don't believe me, then reflect. And then we can see that, wow, I've created my own hell. It's time to go back inside and learn how to love myself and my source, and teach my children how to do this, and my friends how to do this, and my communities how to do this, and love from the inside out. Because then we are in alignment with the source. And then we are in alignment with the truth. And then we are fulfilled, and then we are in this paradise state. And then we can say, wow, thank you, God. Thank you to this source that keeps my heart beating, that keeps my lungs filled, that keeps my body nurture, that has given me life when I never asked for it, that has given me this beautiful life, that has shown me that I don't need the outside world. In fact, what I need has always been here. You are the blueprint. You are the being of light, love, and consciousness. So it's time to look back inside and start loving yourself and loving the source and thanking the source, being grateful and understanding and trusting the wisdom of this source, knowing that with every breath you take, the source takes that breath with you, and flowing into the now, letting go of yesterday, not worrying about tomorrow, just living in the right now by going back into your hearts. So those of you who believe, listen to these words, share this video, share this message, and spread love. Please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, my YouTube channel, and Twitter. I am #Mahdi, Mahdi. Follow me. God bless all of you. Sending you love. Thank you.